Miami Heat, Miami Heat, Miami Heat, Miami Heat, Miami Heat, Miami Heat. It feel like Miami.
Welcome to the Miami Heat Beat Trade Deadline Special here live on twitch.tv/MIA Heat Beat. I'm your host, Giancarlo Navas. And with me today, we have a nice crew of we have a real panel here. Look at us. Look how professional we are. We have on the left over here, we have reality check master Tiffany Meeks.
Hey guys, how you doing?
On the right of me, we have statistician and professional photoshopper Christian Hernandez.
What is up? Pat Riley's asleep at the wheel. How long has it been since we've had I woke up this morning, I opened Twitter, everyone's talking trade, then no trade. We haven't had a trade since yesterday.
I know.
What the hell is going on?
Insane. On the right of the screen, we have the great Siobhan.
Good evening. What's up, people? Hey, G, Tiff, Christian. What's up, audience people?
We're feeling
Hello,
good.
humans.
So,
trade deadline. Praise all that sit on high that it is here and past.
if you're listening on the podcast, I want you guys to know that this is available to you live on our Twitch page, twitch.tv/MIA Heatbeat. We post all our pods to the pod feed, but, it's always available for you live and on YouTube if you want to catch a replay. If you're on YouTube, because this does get uploaded to YouTube, and you want to listen to us in your car without killing your data, check out the podcast. On Apple, on Spotify. We have you covered anywhere you go. And if you see on our Twitch stream we have a sub goal, Alf Sinks Pepas. This is not working. I don't know why our counter's not working. I got to figure that out. But we're close. We're at like 140 something. So we're gonna get Alf to Sink Pepas live on the Hangover Time postgame show. Brian M already gifted a tier 1 sub already in this stream. So that's the goal. We want Alf to Sink Pepas live on air. We're gonna get it working. Don't worry. But let's start with trades, guys. I don't know. We got to start with the Harden trade, right? That's where this has to. Or should we start with? Let's start with the Heat. Actually, let's ease into Harden. Let's talk about what the Heat did yesterday because we weren't live yesterday. The Heat trade KZ Okpala to the Thunder for a second round pick, which I think might be the only time in memory that I've seen Sam Presti trade a pick and Riley get a pick. Tiff's nodding. Everybody's nodding. Tiff, hell froze over that they got a pick.
I mean, I guess we all knew the end of KZ was coming. Like that's not like as much as like he looked a little cute out there with PJ. If you're trying to win chips, the cuteness factor has to go away at some point. So it was like somebody had to fall on the sword. Hopefully KZ can kind of find his footing out there, and hopefully at some point that pick will put us in a better position to do whatever they decide to do with it.
So they got a second round pick, and in addition to the second round pick, they also removed protections on the first round pick that Miami owes to the Clippers. Now that is a pick that got traded when Miami traded Mo Harkless to the LA Clippers. They had to attach a first-round pick to Harkless's $10 million contract when they got Jimmy Butler. So they traded Hassan for redacted and Mo Harkless. Mo Harkless then got routed to the Clippers with that pick to dump the salary so that they can absorb Jimmy Butler and still be under the hard cap because the sign and trade does hard cap you. And then that pick was one of the picks traded for Paul George. So that is a journey of that first-round pick. That pick was lottery protected. When you have a lottery protected pick, you cannot trade back-to-back picks in back-to-back years. And you can only trade picks, I think, up to 5 years in advance. When you have a pick that's protected, you don't know if it's going to be conveyed or not. So if the Heat have a 2023 pick that's protected, you don't know it's going to convey in 2023. Therefore, you cannot trade a 2024 or a 2025 pick. Because if it's conveyed in 2024, then you can't trade that 2025 pick. So you cannot tell a team, hey, I'll give you a 2025 pick. And they're like, well, you don't know that you're going to have a 2025 pick. right?
Gee, right there. Protections exactly is what? If the pick falls between a certain range, they get it
It
or they
gets rolled
don't.
over to the next year. So let's say the Heat have a top 15 protected pick. So if the Heat have a pick within the top 15, that pick then gets rolled over to the next year. And then typically the protection shrinks. So sometimes it's like protected this year, unprotected the next year, top 15 protected this year, top 8 protected this year, top 2 protected this year. So the picks roll over. And I'm just doing this to give the audience some context as to what's going on. So the reason why the Heat haven't been able to trade a first round pick, in particular the Kyle Lowry trade last year, is because they could not remove the protection on that first round pick. Therefore, they had no picks to trade because they've already traded picks away and they can't trade back to back. So then that pick held up so much. So by unprotecting that pick,
why were they unable to do that now and they weren't then?
Because OKC didn't want to. They wanted stuff for that unprotection, and the Heat were just unwilling to part with stuff at the time. Gotcha. And I think that stuff, by the way, was KZ Okpala. I heard that they got upset because the Thunder were just asking for KZ and stuff last year, and Riley got mad. So eventually he got a second and the unprotected. So OKC removes the protection on that pick. Now Miami can trade 2 first round picks. I believe 2023 and 2025. Don't quote me on that, but I know the last 2 picks within the cycle they have now eligible to trade. Christian, I said a lot of shit right now. But
that was very impressive, though. Did you rehearse some of that?
No, I didn't.
Because
it's just
there was some complex stuff in there, and you just rolling with it off the cuff.
Somebody clipped that.
Do you have like a whole speech like off screen that we don't see?
I'm looking at the top.
Kidding. That's
keep going. I'm fucking impressed. Professional. Yes,
look at this. 401 episodes. This is how we roll. Chris,
yes,
this sets them up for the offseason great. They didn't make a trade today, but now they have a lot of ammunition going into next summer.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, like anytime that anybody wants to talk trades with the Heat, it's always about all these younger guys that they have that, you're not sure of their true potential maybe. And those are the kind of guys that you usually tend to use as trade chips. And obviously the Heat have always operated as a team that does not need picks of any kind, because they find undrafted dudes on the street and they bring them in and they end up being, in the 3-point contest. How many times has that happened?
Daquan.
So it's like, they have their ways. So, I mean, this is very cool, honestly, that the Heat went out of their way to, make a move that gave them the flexibility to have picks to trade. And they didn't immediately just fire them off. Right. Like clearly, I would imagine that they were making offers, and that there was probably some kinds of trades being put out there with Duncan and maybe another minimum player, and a first, since they were able to free it up. I'm sure they were dangling some of that, but they weren't desperate to. And I hope that because it would be cool if eventually they actually use one of those picks, because with how good their scouting is, how could you not be excited about the prospect of the Heat having the
lottery talent,
of choosing from some lottery talent? Like, that's exciting.
It's like, I like Tiff. I love what Christian said there about not firing off the pick now, because we know that they have some needs, and we can get into that in a little bit, but not making a trade for the sake of making a trade when you are sitting first place in the East, I think that shows character development from old Wash Pat Riley.
Well, also it's you're kind of sitting pretty right now in first place. So, the idea would be, obviously, we got somebody who's been in the freezer for a minute, who's on the thaw, it seems like. And then you hope Keith can, come back to the court at some point. And then you got another option as far as if you check the buyout market. But I think, if you look at it for the long term, they could potentially just say, you know what, this summer we don't like the way this looks. So now we do have a couple of things we can play with to kind of shape this team in a different way. And obviously, I feel like that would be break glass in case of emergency. So if this season doesn't end particularly well, then they have all the right to go in and say, you know what, we've got these picks, we've got players, let's see what we can do.
Siobhan?
No, I agree. Right, like to have the kind of the wherewithal to stand firm and be like, no, we're okay. We know that things have looked rocky at times. We know different pieces have come on at other times and others. We know that we're just now getting a good diet of what our core is going to look like together all at once, right? So there isn't a need to do a thing. I understand the desire, or like the kind of the FOMO, and you see the people around you making moves, and to some the idea of not doing anything while others are actively getting better is a bit of regression, right? To not progress while the people around you are progressing is to then regress, right? But I don't think that Miami is necessarily in that spot. They are still massaging in the core guys who have been there, been in and out with their injuries here and there, knick-knack things or whatever. And then for the second season, their trade acquisition, their mid-season acquisition is a guy that's been on the bench for them. And I think it's better able. I think we're nearing time enough now to where we should be able to start to have some of these conversations about Vic, because I don't know what game I was watching, and I don't know what those teams' records were, with regards to how many games Miami has played, but there's only 26 games left in the season for whatever team that was, which means that Miami, is plus or minus 3 or something like that, right? So there's time is quickly approaching to have found the lineups and the cohesion and the schemes and all of the things that Spo was already going to be up against, just with the fact that he's had people in and out. So now you have people back in steadily here, stable, and time is continuing to go. They are in a good spot to where they can just keep working on themselves, right? A lot of the self-love, self-care, just keep bettering themselves and kind of internally. And then, like you said, Tiff and Christian in great position in the off season to not have any guilt, right? Like if they go and decide to make a move, we gave this shit a try, it didn't go, or they could of course double down and stay and do whatever and try again or whatever, but run it back, so to speak. But the point is they're in really good position either way the coin kind of lands.
Siobhan talks about it like he's eating an Oreo, no guilt.
Well, she's right though. Everybody was clamoring, keep them together, let's let them ride it out. And apparently Pat woke up, checked Twitter, and was like, oh, they want him to ride it out? Okay.
Woke up or fell asleep, depending on who you ask.
Everybody in the van but KZ. We're gonna ride it out.
We on a fucking family road trip, left that boy in the bathroom.
Exactly.
Poor kid, man.
Y'all seen KZ? Oh my God, we left him in OKC.
Hold on to my baby. We're gonna come back and get him.
Jesus Christ.
We're gonna come get him.
Shout out to Scott352 for the sub. Shout out to JK.
He got so big.
To GK, subscribed at Prime. The big thing, guys, about the other thing about, other than freeing up the pick and getting a second rounder, which by the way, second rounders, I think Miami has undervalued them for many years, and they just kind of throw them in things, right? But seconds can help you get guys before guys become available buyout. Like guys will trade for a team will trade you a guy for a second before they buy him out, and you don't know if he'll come here or not. So seconds are valuable. Miami doesn't have many, so them getting one is pretty important. And the other thing is they cleared a roster spot. Now, Miami has 2 available. They're at 13, so they have 2. The problem is that they want to not be in the tax because they don't want to be in the repeater tax. It's not that they don't want to pay luxury tax. It's that when Tyler Hero's extension kicks in, they will be a repeater team, and that's just nobody pays repeater tax. It's just not feasible in the league. It's specifically designed so that you cannot survive in it. Nobody does it, right? Even the richest owners don't do it. So the Heat are really trying to avoid the tax, not because they're being cheap. It's because they understand that down the line, when Lowry and Jimmy's deal and Bam's deal and Tyler's deal are all big, they need to be able to keep them together, right? And it's not like Miami is asset heavy that they have a bunch of picks that they can attach. No, they don't want
Right.
to. I think they don't want to put themselves in a position that they've been in the past, where now they got to fire sale their draft picks and young players to get off of contracts because they simply so they want to be under the tax. So by clearing the roster spot, you can do two things. You can either convert Caleb Martin into a normal contract with whatever's left of your mid-level exception, so you can keep him for 2 years instead of him entering free agency at the end of the year, or you can risk it all and go double or nothing in a video bonus. I'm kidding. Cash cab reference. You can go in for the buyout market, right? You can double down. You can go see if you can get a buyout guy, play some backup for you, and then figure it out with Caleb later. So Christian, they did so much with KZ. Now they gave 4 second-round picks for KZ Okpala. Let's not forget, it was a bad trade. I think they recovered pretty nicely.
Well, they've got what? 2 back technically, right?
They got,
Yeah.
I guess they got their first back. Not their
And
first
the
back, because
second.
that still gets conveyed. They free up, that pick was gonna, they don't really get a pick, it's just how soon they can convey it. And they
Right.
got a second back. So it's really, what was it? I think it was actually, it ended up being 2 picks. I think it was 3 picks for KZ, 3 second
It
round
becomes
picks.
an asset that they can like actually move and get off of now.
It came at a good time. It was almost like they put the pick on layaway.
Yeah. Or like it was like a trust fund or something.
Right.
Like somewhere in some account that they couldn't get to. Go ahead, Chris.
They
No,
did a lot.
nothing.
They did a lot with that.
I feel like the lasting memory of KZ Okpala, at least probably for the Heat front office, is like, it's like, because they've been on a bit of a hot streak lately. Like, can't really say much to them, right? Doing a great job, like 100%. But that's
Right.
kind of like a little chink in the armor right there, It's just like, it keeps them humble a little bit, which is good, because, you don't want to get a big head, no matter who you are.
Listen. I just think that this has been an incredibly successful deadline for them, and I think that it didn't have the sparkles of Jeremy Grant or Harry B or any of these big time names, but I thought they did incredible by getting flexibility, by keeping Caleb or getting another guy. I just thought it was a home run for them. They have a really good team, and I think their only legitimate hole that they could have addressed was kind of some backup 4 minutes.
Yes.
And they can probably do that in the buyout market. Again, it's unoptimal. You probably would have liked to have traded, but I don't think they should trade a first for a backup, because I think that they're pretty settled, and they can maybe with Caleb plus Jimmy plus whatever guy they pick up, they can patchwork some stuff.
I think what else you gain too, right? I think guys can breathe now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whether or not you believe there was actually like real internal feelings
Right.
of them actually doing a move or not. Again, there were times in seasons where people were calling for moves, and maybe people would have been justified in how they felt for it. And again, having the balls to like stand in where they are, they know they're okay. They know they have a little bit of time left. And no, at least for the rest of this season, like we're gonna ride with this group, we're gonna ride with these guys. The team knows they're getting ridden with, like, all right, we're good, we're all on board. This is the
Right.
group that we're gonna be with. We're not having to fit in new personalities. We're not having to
Right.
to work in and massage too much more on top of already what it
Right.
is that they're going to have to figure out.
Tiff, were you gonna say something?
No,
Oh.
I definitely agree, because you have to think, had they even made a trade today, that's another guy on top of working in Vic, on top
Right.
of possibly working in Keith back. And we still haven't quite figured out the half court offense yet. So that's
Right.
a lot of people, and that's a lot of things that they would be trying to manipulate with less than 30 games left, because now it's a manipulation.
Yeah.
Like, how else can you look at it? But
Somebody
yeah,
look it up real quick. How many games do they have left?
It's about
I
it's about
agree.
like 30 something.
Yeah, like I agree. It's like you can breathe a little easier now that you didn't have to pack today.
Yeah.
So you're here to the end of the season, and whatever happens after that, that's beyond our control sitting here. But you can do what you can do now. Now you can breathe, and maybe the shots look a little easier. The defense is a little fresher, because now you're at
A
home.
little more springy. And that's whether or not they actually felt any of that heat internally is one thing. But now it's completely gone. We hear, let's hoop.
So again, good 27 games left, just Jared says, so fewer than I thought.
27.
So 27. I like the moves that they made. I like the non-moves that they made. I thought today was just in general really successful. So
27 games is not a lot of games.
It's not a lot of games.
So in hindsight, like, honestly, maybe they should have just stayed pat.
They don't know what they have totally yet.
Can change the whole dynamic.
I agree too.
And yes,
no, they don't. But we don't. No one does. No one knows what they have.
Yeah.
Because
no one knows what they have.
But I think that they do know what they have because they did.
Well,
and again, maybe it would have
of
yeah.
The lack of moves might let us know. They know.
Signifies no. We okay. Chill, baby. We hold on. We got one right here. We gonna.
So somebody's chat said, Schmeathan said, what if they didn't go after a backup four because they're confident Keith will be back? I do know that they sniffed around backup fours. That's been
of course they did.
Pretty public,
you do your due diligence, even if you don't know. You know.
They looked.
You have to do your due diligence because of the injury that he had. Like you'd be remiss not to.
Are the two of them, are the sides really like stalemated on whether or not he's going to be, like, he said he's fine? What the whole fucking
that whole speculation stuff? I think it's tough because he'll say stuff to benefit. Like, it's tough. I don't know. I do know that if enough doctors felt he could play, and he's not playing yet. And I think we've seen that the Heat were willing to not play a Hall of Famer because they didn't feel like he was ready. So if they don't feel like he's ready, then he's not going to play, because Chris Bosh was 80 times the guy basketball player you are. Not to disparage Keith, but that's a Hall of Fame guy. And
I wish we had Bosh.
Oh my God.
I wish Bosh could still play.
Perfect front court partner next to Bam.
Could you imagine what that would look like?
Been saying it for years.
Anyway, let's keep going.
Let's keep going. We got so much stuff to talk about. Let's talk about the conference. Let's talk about the rivals. Let's talk about what the fuck's going on in the East. Gogi to the Spurs. Spurs probably going to buy Gogi out. Mavs eyeing him. Miami reportedly not among the teams that are interested. Makes sense. Doesn't really fit with what they're doing right now.
No. And they don't have space.
They don't.
Right. No sentimentality right now.
Let's just even be realistic. There's no space.
Yeah. Gabe Vincent's better than he is.
I was going to say, are you going to play Gorn over Gabe?
No.
You really can't. Not with Gabe's defense. You really can't.
Gogi looked kind of cooked in Toronto, and I think that it's just, I think we all agree we're as much as we love Gogi, probably not.
Yeah, let that ship sail. Come on.
Yeah.
He'll come back in other ways. Shades 50 said we should send Gogi a gift basket.
Sure. Send him some Heat Beat merch.
Send him some muffins.
Raptors get back Thad Young, Eubanks, and a 2022 second round pick. I thought that was a strange deal. Raptors also gave a first round pick and Goran, which I was like, they had to attach a pick. So ultimately, Kyle Lowry netted them Thad Young, a second, Eubanks, and Precious Achua.
Shout out to Sandy.
Poor Masai. Listen, as I am kind of part of Raptors Twitter. I feel for them.
Frankie.
They can't see Frankie. You guys can't say that because then now Chad doesn't know.
Oh, I'm not used to this news.
I know you're not.
Yeah, see,
I said production window. This is production window.
Sorry. Okay.
Yeah. So now, okay. Yeah. So see,
Frankie's praying.
Frankie's shaking his head because Frankie understands. Raptors waive Eubanks. I didn't know that. I've been off Twitter a lot today. I've been working. So I don't really get the Thad Young stuff for the Raptors. I
think he fits their build. He fits their makeup of guy.
Right.
I don't know what I haven't watched much that. I know what I know that I remember of Thad Young, but he fits their makeup of dude.
Right. Genetically, he fits in.
Yes, physically, like it's a little army over there.
The thing with the, he fits. I don't really think he provides enough offensive juice for them. That part to me is I'm a little sus on, but other than that, it is what it is for them. I think what the Bucks did today was pretty interesting. They get Ibaka, which to me indicates that they don't
Brooke
feel
Lopez.
great about our boy Brooke Lopez coming back. How did you feel about that?
About him not coming back or
But just about the Bucks dealing Ibaka,
Getting
giving up.
Surge.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't think Brooke Lopez was I still don't think he's coming back because he had back surgery. So to me, that's like
Yeah.
you're taking a big chance. So I never thought he was coming back. I actually think that they like scored
Yep.
big getting Ibaka because
I think so.
he's actually been playing well as of late. He looks fresh. Um, I think that's a big deal for them because they needed somebody once they lost PJ. So I think he's gonna
Yep.
fill some type of role for them where he can shoot the three. He can be aggressive when he's in the right spots. And he's a different look but he gives you something different than what Bobby Portis gives you. And I
Hmm.
think that's a big deal to have somebody that's kind of the polar opposite on the court of Bobby Portis.
Another one who like fits what it is that it feels like Milwaukee's trying to
Hmm.
build as far as a look and a stature. All that length out
Yep.
front and on the perimeter. It's a lot.
So we're gonna bring in.
Finally. And you know the
Hey,
way
Frankie.
this works. I got to give you shit.
Hey, right.
So
You ask for this all the damn time. You complain when we don't give you shit. You complain when we do give you shit.
no, I know. Yeah,
You're
no.
like
I
Heat
mean,
fans when they want to trade.
I'm trying. We bring in Frankie. We're here. We're all a happy family. I did this
I'm
on the
trying.
fly. So
Love you, G.
hey, what's up? So yeah, I think the Ibaka thing is one of the more interesting parts of the day. I'm trying to get the exact deal to give all the details of the trade. Okay, so the Bucks got Ibaka, 2 future second round picks and cash considerations. And Sacramento, the Clippers received Semi Ojeleye and Rodney Hood. The Pistons received Marvin Bagley, and the Kings received
I like that.
White Dante, Josh Jackson, and Trey Lyles, who, interesting piece. I think he,
Gianni, I wrote him in my notebook also as White Dante.
that's a hot joke, isn't it?
No, that's
No, I feel like everybody calls him White
Yeah,
Dante.
everybody calls
I
him
thought we
Bomani.
made that up.
Yeah.
I thought that was
Bomani Jones.
Bomani
Yeah,
said,
no,
Bomani
we
was
can't take
surprised
credit
when
for
he was
that
in
one.
college. He's like,
Yeah.
wait, there's a White Dante?
Yeah. No, yeah, we can't take credit
Yeah,
for
chat
that
saying
one.
chat saying that's Bomani. So okay, I didn't know. So yeah, they move off Dante. He had been hurt a lot this year. He had been in and out of the lineup. I know that he got hurt in the playoffs when against the Heat. Funny enough, and then he's kind of struggled. But Ibaka's obviously the big piece there. Get them a real 5. I don't think that makes me feel too different about them. I think that the same stuff kind of applies, and I think they're gonna, if anything, Ibaka. Portis, they played. Nikias talked about it the other day with us. Portis is playing a lot higher. It's not. Ibaka's back is not the same. It's just not the same guy. So I'm not too concerned. I don't know about you guys. It doesn't move the needle tremendously.
I don't know if it moves the needle, but what it does afford Giannis a couple of minutes here and there.
Yeah,
That's what-
it doesn't
and-
really.
See, and it doesn't need to add anything. And
I was just about to say, it doesn't like really add anything.
Right.
It like reinforces
Exactly,
what's
and that's a
already
big
there.
deal. Like people don't think
Yep.
about it in that aspect. Like,
Yep.
yeah, you're gonna your next line is gonna be, I'm not afraid of them, but you're not on the
Yeah.
court. So
Yeah.
if you're on the court and Giannis is able to get 2 minutes here, 3 minutes here, resting because Serge can take up a couple of extra minutes. That's a big deal for them.
From that deal, I'm looking at what the Clippers did, right? They got Semi Ojeleye and Rodney Hood. Yes or no, they have like a little bit of a,
Yes.
not a log jam at the wing 4 spot, but they have like a lot happening. Like they kept Justice, right?
No, they
Like-
traded him.
No, they moved Justice.
So they
Yeah.
traded Justice.
He's a
Okay,
Blazer.
that was a
He's a
few
Blazer.
days ago, right? Okay,
His
okay,
first
okay.
play
No,
as a
I
Blazer
remember. Okay.
was a movement 3 set. They tried to get him a movement shooting a 3, and he hit it.
And he
Love
shut
it.
LeBron's
Okay.
shit down last
Shut
night.
him down.
Okay, and he
Nikias
did.
Duncan
Okay,
tweeted
okay.
out, I guess LeBron can beat everyone except Justice Winslow.
I thought thought he got moved, but I wasn't sure. Okay, so then I do like that move for the Clippers. I think they're like trying to batten down their hatches too, and I think they added a bit with the combination of them too. I have my pick for what I found most interesting from the day, but we can do that later if we get there.
Is it in conference? I kind of want to go through.
Yeah, it's in conference.
Is it?
I like Kristaps to the Wizards.
I do too.
I want to see what that looks like.
I like
if they
that more
can
for
get
the
him
Mavericks.
Together. What?
I
Who
like
did
that
they
more
get
for
in
Dallas.
the?
Getting off
I
of him
don't.
is.
They got Dinwiddie, who
And
has
Bertans.
who is not materialized at all this year. Bertans, who's been bad. Like,
Yeah.
I like Davis playing with It gives him a natural pick and pop guy with Luka. I think.
So what I am curious
gets
about
me
though with the
six-man
Wizards
record.
though, the Wizards moves Ish Smith too, right? So who do they have as their backup guard with? So you got Bill and KP. Oh, and you got Kuzma. Kuzma's been playing
They
well.
moved Trez too. That was really weird.
And they moved Trez. So it's like they picked up a good piece, but I think that they moved a few sturdy pieces too. But I want to see what that looks like. Yeah. KP was the original unicorn, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But those knees were like original
But
glass.
oh yeah.
You hear what Legler
Recycled glass.
Dinwiddie and Bertans for Porzingis, and a second round pick.
Tim Legler said they call him the unicorn because you barely see him.
Well, there you go.
They trade.
That's
Holiday
a way to look
the
at it.
Wizards trade Aaron Holiday to the Suns. They got a trade.
Love that
That
for
was a great
Phoenix.
pickup.
Wanted to talk about that. Love that for Phoenix.
I don't really get. I just don't really understand what the Wizards are doing. I mean, unless you. Really,
I don't either.
Unless you really
no
like
one knows
KP,
what it is, but it's provocative.
Yeah.
Unless you really, really like KP, I just don't really get it.
When have we ever got what the Wizards are doing?
Right.
Though?
I mean,
That house is on.
It
That
seems
house
like
is on
they're
fire.
trying to lose in the short term. Like
We would.
I
Be
think they're
remiss-
trying to tank out the rest of the season at this point.
I
Yeah,
want
it
to see
seems
what
pretty clear.
happens.
When you're a bad franchise, you just try different shit. You try other teams' different shit. And when that doesn't work, you get another team's different shit. It never works out.
That reminded me yesterday. I had proposed 2 picks and Duncan for Harry B. I've never been ratioed so harder by my own people. Suddenly,
whoa.
everyone's a Duncan stan. They're like, no.
Your Drummond Hassan thing went pretty viral.
Huh?
Your Drummond versus Hassan thing.
No, but that was it. Yeah, that's true. I still think
They
that.
wasn't giving us Harry B for two firsts and Duncan.
Duncan, right?
And Duncan, they want more than that. That wasn't
But
gonna work.
but people were telling me that's not enough.
It isn't enough.
It isn't
No,
enough.
I'm sorry. People
Y'all
were telling
are
me that that's too
overvaluing
much. I'm sorry.
Duncan.
People were telling me that
No,
that's
it
way
wasn't
too much.
That's not too
No,
much.
for the Heat side, yeah.
No.
They called me
yeah.
unreasonable. They said this is Harrison Barnes. What are you talking about?
Y'all are come on.
Man.
No,
They
you gotta
probably
look a
turned
little
around and
deeper than the
said,
surface.
We'll take Duncan. We'll take Gabe. We'll take Bax. We'll take the guy who brings the hot dogs.
They can't do that. Just
That
for
would
the
be
roster
wildin'.
stuff. I do get why
No, they
it wasn't.
can't. But I'm saying,
Yeah.
I'm sure the pushback was we want this also.
Others.
I gotta be
Some
honest
of
with
the
you, Tiff.
others.
I don't even know if the Heat called because he puts them into the luxury tax because he's making 20, Duncan's making 15. So you're right up at the tax right now. So you're in the tax with him. There's no way to get out of it.
But
And
they probably sniffed around.
it was probably unlikely. I mean, it was something that I was just
but I'm
excited
saying,
about. Yeah.
if that's where you felt your need was, regardless of if you're going to make the move or not, it hurts you nothing to sniff around.
Yeah.
So that was interesting. So we have to talk about the trade of the day. I think we've waited long enough. We talked about
the
Heat and kinda went away.
Harden?
Harden goes to the Sixers.
I thought
Harden
you
and
meant
James Harden and Paul Millsap end up in Philadelphia. The Brooklyn Nets receive Ben Simmons, Seth Curry, Andre Drummond, a 2022 first-round pick unprotected, and a 2027 first-round pick protected. Harden does opt into his deal next season for $40-something odd million.
Of course he did.
So the Sixers get a year and change of Harden.
And Millsap.
Christian, who won that trade?
James Harden, right?
Philly strip
Hello?
clubs.
Right.
Hello.
Oh, well, yes, correct. And the general
Gianni,
Philadelphia community.
No.
No.
But,
We're not doing that
no.
here.
Don't tease it.
Wait, what did he
No.
say?
I don't know. Sorry.
What did he say?
We not.
I
Well,
said
no,
Philly strip clubs, but I didn't. Okay.
They're gonna.
we're not doing that here.
I mean, is the expectation that Morey's going to give him a max extension, right?
I think it's wait and see. Probably.
Did you see
Probably.
that Bobby
Y'all think
Marks?
it's wait
Got
and
to.
see
Did you guys see
No.
getting that deal?
Don't happen. Yes.
I mean, Bobby
y'all
Marks was
talking
saying
about?
that if it happens, that it would be the worst contract in NBA history. He
I
said
mean,
it
it's
on
probably
TV
right
today.
I
About
mean,
Harden, about a
we
max.
got play-
about Harden, about giving
We
him
got players
a max contract.
$45 million next year who like average who shoot like 3 for 12. It ain't gonna be the worst. Like,
Shout out to Russell Westbrook.
exactly, and it ain't our money.
And
So
then,
if Philly wants to,
listen,
if
the
Philly
cruises
wants to,
are
like,
up and
lemon pepper him. Hey,
things is open.
Our own Weird Alf, who's taking a little Twitter break, texted me today when that trade dropped.
Love you, Jack.
Love you, Jack. He
Love you,
said,
Jack.
Sixers just became the 4th best team in the conference. I'm shaking in my boots.
Well, I feel like this is also like the perspective thing that gets lost sometimes. We are first in the East right now. I know it's close, especially between like the first 4 teams, but we're first in the East right now. And like the teams that are all on the headlines right now are 5th and 8th in the East. So it's like, I don't understand the compulsion among some people to have to make a move. Why? Just to make a move? Like
I'm with you, and I think that's kind of where why we started the show that way. It's like, I agree. I think the Nets got worse. I'm gonna say it.
you just did.
I think the Nets got worse. I think I'm not a Ben Simmons person. I'm not.
Did you see how James Harden was playing defense? They 100% got better.
You think they got better?
Absolutely got better.
I think that if any kind of player can play with a guy like Simmons, it's guys like Durant and Steph that can self-isolate away from Ben Simmons' help. KD especially, because he can shoot and trigger over any, like, before any double comes. Like, Ben's man, you know, if Ben just stands in the dunker spot and KD's on the wing, he's not like Embiid that has to post up. Like, if there's a guy who could do it, it's KD and Steph.
Yeah.
It's guys like that that can
No,
do it.
and Seth Curry went with him.
No, yeah, and I think the
That's
Seth
a
Right.
Curry's there
huge
too.
underrated
now.
part of
with
that.
Joe Harris, you know, kind of his status
Yes.
up in the air.
That's what makes it work.
Yeah.
The others are with them, like Seth and
Yep.
Drummond,
Joe's
I don't care about.
status
He's
being
not
up in the
probably
air.
not going to play. I don't know if that was salary.
Yeah, I don't think he plays either.
Claxton is there
I think
already.
I think he plays
I don't.
Over Fat Boy
because
and
Claxton because
over Fat
Who
Boy.
is
and
Fat
Claxton?
Boy?
because
All
they're
good.
Oh,
because the
We
thing
talking
is
Drummond? Okay, yeah.
Well, Drummond's also
He's
Fat
gonna
Boy.
put-
You're right. There's 2 Fat Boys in Brooklyn right now.
because there's going to be teams that are going to be they're going to have to put some of their size on the floor. So they're going to have to match up
Yeah.
with some people. So guess who's going to be
Yeah.
on the floor? Drummond.
I don't
Yeah,
think so.
yeah.
I mean, what you don't think that they'll go Claxton if they have to play a 5?
If Claxton is not enough,
I don't I think
Exactly.
Claxton's
Sometimes
just-
he's not. Gee, have you not? Obviously, you haven't been
I
watching
have,
lately.
but have you Andre Drummond is bad.
Okay, but sometimes I live in New York, so
He
the
ain't been
game is
pretty good,
on,
isn't he?
and Claxton's gets murdered on the block sometimes. He's
Yeah.
not big enough.
I think LaMarcus Aldridge
Yeah.
is like makes sense as their 5. Like, you know, he's
Yeah.
Claxton is 215. He is that boy is skinny.
more active
Exactly.
defensively.
But that's what sometimes you need some. You're gonna need some.
You need
size.
some
got
meat
rid of
on your
DJ
bones.
For that reason, I just don't think they want to play centers like that.
Yeah.
Because DJ,
and now that's the part I agree with. And DJ would be more active than Drummond.
I like
is.
DJ more
And
than
they
Drummond.
But DJ wasn't active. That was the problem. That's why they got rid of him.
they got
Fair.
rid of him
Listen
because
to
he
what
was
I'm
getting murdered on
listen to
defense.
what I'm telling you.
Yeah.
They got rid of him because he wasn't active and couldn't keep up. Listen to what I'm telling you.
We'll see. I have my doubts that Andre Drummond can move, but we'll see.
And plus Simmons will probably play the 5 for them. Like Alan the Slacker says, Simmons small ball 5. KD's played 5 for them too. Like we'll see some of that as well.
Simmons didn't agree to that.
Simmons got what he wanted. He wanted to get out of Philly, so he can't complain no more.
Oh,
Sure
but
he
there's gonna be
can.
more.
What do you
exactly.
mean?
What are you talking about?
That you see how much money he's lost this year?
He don't care.
He can't lose
And
anymore.
I'm
No.
happy for him that he don't
His
care.
tax bracket. He just moved up a tax bracket. He's getting.
Yeah, I think he's gonna shut up and play. I think he's about
He's
to
got
shut
to.
up
No,
and
he's
play.
gonna
He
play.
has
I
to.
mean, he has
No,
to.
I know he's gonna play.
Well,
but
no,
what-
not play.
Didn't-
I mean, like,
I mean,
no,
he
like
did
ball.
just get traded to New York, man. He's about to get taxed out the ass.
That's what I'm saying.
It ain't nice
That's what
here.
Frankie just said. Yeah.
It ain't
And,
nice.
and
here.
he's
think-
gonna get taxed real up the ass because he's already lost
Listen,
like $15 million
I'm
this
letting
year.
y'all know this man is about to average a double, and you know why he about to give you that double? Because ain't no fans, so ain't nobody yelling at him. Nobody got expectations.
Fans of the opposite team.
Yeah, let's go Heat.
They're all
Let's
road
go,
games.
Heat.
They're all road
No,
games. So
I think.
Ryan said he
Vincent
lost
balls.
$20 million this year. Oh hell yeah, he's playing.
I am not.
That boy's not
I think he's
complaining
gonna look
anymore.
good.
I think he. That's what I'm saying. I think he. Of course, he's going to play. I think he's going to look good.
No, I think he's gonna look good because I think
Yeah.
KD
He always looks good in the regular.
is gonna get
season.
him where he needs to be.
It's always.
I
He
think-
always looks good in the regular season. I do think that the fit with Embiid was just bad. I think that was
But
just
there's
an
also
odd
a
couple.
difference in the leadership. There's also a difference in the
Yeah.
quality of players. Like Embiid's
Yeah.
a great player.
I gotta be
but
honest with you,
Embiid-
Tiff. I don't think there's a lot of leadership going on in Brooklyn right now.
Well,
But no,
some
I
of these
think
things are not in Kevin Durant's control. He cannot
Yes.
control
It's
what
been a
Kyrie
circus.
chooses to do.
Every
But look
That's
who the
not on
circus
Kevin.
is. The circus
Right,
is
that's
not
not
Kevin.
Kevin.
The circus was
Yeah.
James. The circus was Kyrie, and
Right.
sometimes Nash.
isn't
Like,
leadership
Right.
stepping up to fix these circuses?
Gee,
No,
Just-
the
just 'cause you
leadership
don't-
not with.
Just because you don't
No.
create the circus doesn't mean that.
No.
You know what I mean?
you can't fix he
You
couldn't fix
do what's
this.
within your power.
Right.
You do what's within your power.
We'll see.
He couldn't fix
He
this.
can't. They tried to talk to Kyrie, and I think I'm thinking of leadership on a more one-on-one level, right? Ben will get what he needs to get from someone like a Kevin more than he
Mhm.
would from a Joel. Or Joel's a fantastic player, great athlete, whatever. But KD has a more similar makeup. It has a different kind of bag that I think Ben could learn from and could take pieces from, could learn how to like operate as a large guard in the post and how to like get shots. And just, I think there could be a level of like mentorship between a KD and a Ben that, hopefully pans out for them. I don't think you
Well-
can put Brooklyn struggles on Kevin with regards to leadership, all on him squarely. Like what he did what he could with Kyrie. James being hurt is on him. Like, I'm hooping. I don't know what else you want me to do.
Well, and also Kevin has won. So
And
when he's
right.
talking to you, he's coming from a different perspective than what
Yeah,
Embiid
listen
can
to
ever
me.
come from. Because Embiid hasn't won anything.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
who knows? He could be just looking at him like, I don't want to hear what you're saying. You ain't
And
even
he's
been there."
somebody who's had his right. Your shit ain't even been all the way together
Exactly.
enough to be trying to talk to me, cheeseburger by the bench ass boy. Stop
Ooh.
it.
But
I'm not
I-
listening to you.
But listen, I'll tell you this. You know who got
Oh no, he's
vaccinated?
cooking this season.
Oh, but you know who
Oh.
got vaccinated?
Oh, Ben.
Ben Simmons.
Yeah.
And he's got his fellow Australian and Kyrie. He should feel right at home.
Nah, he ain't looking at Kyrie. He probably looking at Patty Mills.
Oh, another one. There you go.
Yes.
He's got two Australians.
Do they lead the league in
Uh-huh.
Australians?
They
I
have
think
to.
they do.
There's like
At least
four of
black
them.
Australians.
Right. Did we lead the league in Nigerians at one point?
We did.
We did. We had half the current lineup.
Yeah. So shout out to the Heat there.
Namdi.
We're gonna bring in. We have Kenny here. We're gonna bring him in a second. I guess I just want to go around the room. We can go Siobhan, Christian, then Frankie. Do either of these new look teams scare you?
Who are we going first?
I said Siobhan.
He
too.
said Siobhan, Christian, Frankie. Okay. Do either of the new look teams scare me? In the Eastern Conference, I will say no. Let me see if I'm missing something here. I do think the surge to Milwaukee, I do think that's a good thing of reinforcements. I don't know what Daniel Tice does for Boston. He and Bam are the same, so I don't know. They're neutralizing each other. The Pacers get Jalen Smith. Don't watch enough of him to know what that's about.
They're rebuilding.
Yeah, and Charlotte is going to keep, I guess, being fun. They get Montrez and Ish, but I don't know that that's too much fire where that smoke is. So no, I don't know that any of the new look teams in the East particularly
No, Ish went to
right
Washington.
in me is wait, New Orleans is a Western Conference team, correct?
Mhm.
Yes.
Yes, I knew that. Okay, making sure because that's what I wanted to talk about. But we can do that when we talk about the game.
Look
So
who
go
it
ahead, Frankie.
is. What's up,
Man,
Kenny?
I've been waiting forever. What's going on?
I
I've
didn't
been
even
off
know
for
you
like a
were
week.
there.
Hello, Kitty.
I didn't see
Hi,
you.
Kenny.
What up, Kenny?
Okay, we have
What's
to
up?
make a
What's
rule.
up?
I need to text me because I'll get the text ribbon because I'm doing other stuff. What's up, Kenny?
How your first word
What's
is
up?
not hi.
So, do I just go
I've
ahead?
been here
Kenny's
before.
like, I've been
No,
outside.
Yeah.
no.
You done walked
Mm-mm.
into our house and took your shoes
All right.
off.
So,
Speak.
all right. What's up,
Hey,
everybody?
Kenny.
What's up, everybody? What's up? How y'all doing?
Dang. Go
Good.
ahead.
All right. So what I will say, I will need help with the teams. I'm fresh off the road from work, so Brooklyn does not scare me. they got better defensively. Offensively, there's one less person to guard. And so they'll have some fun. I mean, Seth Curry does worry me a little bit along with Joe Harris whenever he's back. But all in all, I'm not too worried about them. The Sixers, there's a lot of undisciplined stars over there, and the play styles don't necessarily match. And we've also seen James Harden when things matter. I don't really care too much about them, and they shouldn't have gave up Seth. That's going to be an issue for them. They might have gotten a little worse, actually. You can't just throw names together and hope shit works. I don't think it will. Charlotte is fun, but they're also still Charlotte. Montrez can't defend, so he doesn't help with that. Jalen Smith to the Pacers is kind of fun, but they're also rebuilding, like y'all said. What trade am I missing? The Raptors, yeah, whatever. That young, I never really understood. I haven't understood the fascination for him for the past 3 years.
Well, you never saw that Thad
I
Young
got here
graphic?
kind of late. I got to do what I can.
No,
I know.
I
what's on the
respect
team.
it.
Huh?
You've never seen that Thad Young graphic? Oh my god!
Nah.
Graphic's my
Come
favorite
on,
thing
that's
in the world.
legendary. G, can you pull it up for us?
Yep. Okay,
Thad Young is a legend among legends. I don't understand this disrespect. The Raptors just got a Hall of Famer. Like, this is ridiculous. Like, what are we talking about? They traded Goran Dragic, didn't want to be there. They acquired Thaddeus Young, who is a legendary athlete in the state of Indiana. Look at this. With players with 800 games to average 13 and a half, 5.9 rebounds, 1.4 steals, 49% field goal, 30% 3-point. It's Thaddeus. It's LeBron. It's MJ. It's Larry. It's Magic. All the guys.
I have seen it. That's wild.
It's Thaddeus. Come on.
It's my favorite. It's my favorite graphic. Christian, does any team in the East scare you?
I think the Sixers still have a lot of talent. And if James Harden actually tries,
that's who I forgot. That's who I forgot.
We've seen as recently as a couple seasons ago that James Harden turned himself into a pretty damn good defender, and he's clearly was just not giving a shit for the last 6-8 weeks minimum.
Right.
So like, if he's suddenly actually engaged, and I don't think he's in bad shape or anything. That's him and Embiid. Embiid already playing at an MVP level. That's something to really worry about. Obviously, I mean, Giannis is on another stratosphere right now, so it is going to be it's going to be a mission to get through him. It's still going to be a tough way through, like no doubt.
Frankie,
but I think the Nets are easier to deal with.
Frankie,
I think the Celtics got a lot better.
we didn't talk about that one. Hold on, let me bring that one up. I actually forgot about that one. Boston received
they definitely got better.
They got Derek White.
That's what I'm forgetting.
They got 2 whites that they wanted.
Spurs got Jay Rich, a first-round pick protected 1 through 4, and Romeo Langford, Jack's boy.
Yeah, White is really good, and Tice, he's whatever. He's gonna be a backup for them, but he gives them some size. When they really only had like 5 or 6 playable guys in their rotation.
Yep.
So White is an upgrade on Jay Rich, and Tice is a solid backup for them. So and they've been playing really well since kind of figuring out their roles and such. So they're not scary, but they're a tough, annoying team. And then like Siobhan said, I like what the Wizards did. I like Porzingis for them, like giving like they started the season, being more well-rounded as opposed to being like an offensive firehouse like they were last year. And some injuries kind of slowed them down and their defense. But I think Porzingis has that potential, and that pick and pop with Beal should be fun. And then obviously the big trade with the Nets and Sixers. I think they both got better. I think they both fit much better than they did before. But I still think the Heat and the Bucks are a class above them. The Bucks, I don't think they really have somebody that they're going to put on Jimmy yet, because Drew can't guard Jimmy and Kyle and Tyler in all these lineups in the perimeter. That's where they really miss PJ. Dante did a good job last year, but he hasn't been able to get healthy and get right. So it's going to be a lot of Pat Connaughton still, and and Grayson Allen. Like that's their defenders on the wings right now.
I mean, Grayson Allen might take somebody out.
Their whites versus our whites. I'll take our whites.
These whites are dangerous. These white men are dangerous.
But I'm never going to be afraid of James Harden. This thing about the engagement and stuff, we've been talking about that for 15 years. When he's engaged, he's never engaged. He's constantly trying to build out of these bad habits, and he's never going to do it. He's not a championship player. Fuck that guy. I'm tired of that guy.
I love that it was measured for a little bit.
Frankie, what's more likely to happen?
It was really nice.
It's the Dwayne Wade comparisons with James Harden. Like, I am so tired of this.
Get that shit out of here.
No, but that's just dumb people on the internet, man.
Right.
No,
was traded a million times in his prime.
Oh my God.
He got traded once and it was come home.
This guy, when he had a chance to take out the Spurs without Kawhi, he got fucking his ass whooped at home. Dwayne would never. Come on, get this guy out of here.
Dwayne would never. Put it on a hat.
Dwayne
would never.
By San Antonio at home when they didn't have a chance. It was different.
Exactly.
Points are being made.
Frankie, what's more likely to happen, an engaged James Harden or a healthy Amon Richards? Sorry, I had to poke fun at the Canes fan in Frankie. I'm pretty, I
think you forgot me.
I thought you won.
Right,
I'm sorry.
Tiffany.
I was writing Rude Kenny. What'd you got, Tiff? I'm so sorry.
In February, honestly.
Listen, today the stream productions have gotten a little more involved. Please bear with me, chat and my co-host, as we're doing new stuff. Somebody in chat says I look handsome. They're lying to me. Thank you.
God damn it, Gianni.
No, you gotta accept that, man. You gotta accept any compliment.
I don't know. I'm not used to chat being nice to me, so it's weird.
It is weird.
Ricky is inept is the one who said G looks handsome.
Shout out to that person. Oh, that one's not me.
That one's me.
One of y'all close your doors.
The hood of South
Tiff,
Miami.
how do you feel about the Eastern Conference?
Man, I mean, it was 20 trades. Y'all out of y'all mind if y'all don't think one of these trades is going to make somebody
better than us?
Better.
No,
Doesn't
yeah, they're
have to
better.
Be better than us. See, you're always trying to take it back to you, G.
Yeah.
Not better than us. They just need to be better. That's why people make trades, to be better.
No, but the question was, does anyone scare you?
No, because I'm not on the court. So I'm not worried about being afraid.
If they lose, they lost in the first round last year. That was a dent to our pockets. You know what I mean? They gotta win.
Listen,
that was a bad team, though. That was a bad team.
Listen, they lost in the first round, and you know what happened on that Tuesday? The sun still came up.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. But the check, Tiff. The more they win, the check.
Yeah. Yes, but I'm not. But that's not what we're here talking about. We should not be talking about that.
Okay, let me reframe the question for you because you are a higher being. Do you think that it? No, you have reached this end that I have not reached. Does anything today concern you in regards to the Heat's title contention?
Uh-oh.
The funniest thing is that
Breaking
where
news.
everybody got off the bus. I'm gonna say it. It's Ben Simmons is gonna do something special. And he's gonna surprise everybody,
Frank.
and that's all it takes.
I
Because
can see
guess
that.
what? You're not KD is unguardable, so
Yeah.
that's already out of the question. But I'm telling you, the Nets are gonna look a hell of a lot better than they've looked the last 3
They
months.
kept Patty, they kept Claxton,
Yep.
they kept Cam Thomas is a local boy. Shout out to him. They they have, if Ben flips a switch,
And he
Ben
can
can be
play,
special.
and he
And
can
play
play
like
home games.
he's smart. He's available.
He's available. So come on.
And
Like,
people
know.
let those.
Go
Oh,
ahead,
so
Kenny.
people let those Twitter jokes go ahead and like fuck up their mental or whatever. Ben Simmons is a really good NBA player. Like, we get it. He doesn't shoot, whatever the case is. What he does do, he's great at. And so they don't necessarily scare me, but people making this, people kind of picking on the Nets and not really seeing what they got out of it. They got a really good NBA. They got one of the best defenders in the NBA. They got a great playmaker. He's versatile. Forget the shooting, fine. They have KD. They have Kyrie. They can figure that stuff out. They got a really good player.
Right. But in the end, you know why? I'm going to tell you why they want to trade. I'm going to tell y'all why they want to trade.
Yeah.
For real. They got rid of somebody that didn't want to be there.
Yeah.
100%.
Yes.
And in essence, right there, that alone puts
you get better off the top.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I also too, like you're talking like offense and how he can fit with them, right? Like Spo had LeBron playmaking out of the post. You have a 6'8" point guard who just wants to be down there, like, and you have Kyrie and you got Kai and you have Kevin. You got this way cross match schemes, like a bunch of shit. Like if he comes on, I think Brooklyn. I don't know if they scare me. I just still don't know if that changes my answer, but. I do think that they become much a tougher out. I think they got better for sure.
I just think it's going to be great. The Eastern Conference, the playoffs, I think it's just going to be so good from top to bottom, which is honestly a win for the league.
Someone's going to have to play Boston or Toronto in round 1, and that's a a scary proposition.
No, I think both of us are going to move up some more.
Can I just speak to that overall point? Like so you know how the broadcast and stuff, they talk about like how close it is in the Eastern Conference, right? It's always close like that in the Eastern Conference. I think what it is this year, the teams feel and look noticeably better. Like the talent level,
they're actually good.
The game,
the
gameplay looks better. Like it's been just a close contest of like mid-tier ass teams. Now you have excitement. The Bulls are here, Charlotte's here. Like it feels like an actual fucking basketball conference.
The
Cavs, right?
500 now.
All right, guys.
We
we gotta transition to the Weird Al pregame show.